great rivalries, it's not going to work. If you're focusing too much on asses like Nikita Lyons, Jada Parker, Kaylani, Brinley, Petrovic,
I'm glad
Bailey,
you mentioned that.
DL Bailey.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. Let's go.
Because obviously, I do agree. I've been noticing, because for context, we're doing ratings, right? NXT ratings, little snippet of our own.
Alex, I like your girl already. She pays attention more than you think she do. Girl, go ahead.
I'll be seeing shit, but yeah, like
go ahead.
my thing is, there's a lot of wrestlers that I see a lot of potential in, but they're limited in their sex appeal, and it's very frustrating seeing that, especially as a woman watching wrestling and like seeing when something is obviously meant for the male gaze. And like, I feel like it limits wrestlers a lot. So like, yeah, when we're talking about Jada Parker and Nikita Lyons and how they're all ass, like that's not on them, and that speaks nothing of their skill. That's on WWE and the men that want to get their dicks hard. But anyways,
no, Alex, can I ask her a question? Do you think in that case certain females in certain companies rely on too much sex appeal to get them over versus that actual skill? Is that a hindrance or an advantage?
I do think the sex appeal is a hindrance, but I don't always think it's the wrestler's choice. I think sometimes that falls onto the character and the persona they have. Yeah. And so, I mean, maybe it is a cop out for some wrestlers.
You being a female, does that turn you off?
I mean, sometimes, like, sure, but like most of the times, like when I see those matches, I think we talked about it a little bit, me and Alex, like they're divas, right? Like the matches where they go in and they're just like pulling each other's hair and doing like submission holds and shit. Like when I see that, I'm like, I know who that's for. You know, like I know whose gaze that is made for, and no, it doesn't appeal to me at all. So
it appeals to D-Walk, and when it appeals to D-Walk, we have to press this button.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
Hey man, I've been on my best behavior this episode.
I know, but that's why I said that when we watch those matches, it's in the past tense. I'm not saying in the post tense.
D-Walk's been behaving. Don't call him out for no reason.
I know. I'm sorry.
But I will say this though. The difference between AEW and WWE as far as their women's presentation, AEW lets their women actually get busy like the men. Okay. They just had a hardcore match on World's End with the women. They damn near close to bleeding like the men be bleeding, but they was able to get their shit in a respectable way.
Yeah. And that's what I want to see.
If this is WWE, no disrespect to anybody as far as the ladies. Titties would be talked about the entire match. Ass would be commented on, puppies, or like all that weird shit Jada Kinlaw used to do.
That was the 90s. That was actually was the 90s.
All shit. I'm gonna call out our own show because like what do we end up talking about half the time? Wardrobe malfunctions and
booty shots.
But like I don't care about body parts. Like sure I can enjoy a nice ass, but that's not why I'm watching wrestling. Like, I enjoy seeing Jada Parker as a wrestler and her persona and like a little bit more of who she is behind the character, not just like talking about her ass every time.
I like the fact that AEW, like, they let their women rely on their skill versus having to use their sex appeal. Yeah, they sexy. Yeah, it's visible, but that ain't what's setting the story. Them being hard, it's just as harder than the man in the ring. It's what's getting them over.
They Ring of Honor too. Look at Athena.
Ring of Honor as well. Yeah. I want to say this. AEW is the only place where I've seen about five hardcore matches with women. Done well. Done like Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker. That one big booty girl that's curly hair. I forgot her name was. She was TV champion.
Willow Nightingale.
Willow Nightingale.
I love Willow Nightingale. Oh my god, yes.
She's AEW. She's just the bunny, and other people like they know. Again, the only hardcore match that we had was Lola versus Jada. With a fake ass.
It was trash.
And ECW people online said that was trash themselves. So when the people that invented hardcore wrestling are telling them that that's crappy in Philadelphia, it's crappy in Philadelphia.
Was whack. That's a problem.
I mean,
of all people.
No, I do agree. Like, if we're really talking about it, like, I think that for a company that has been so forward moving and like with women in wrestling, like with NXT. No, like we've talked about it. NXT had a lot of pioneer matches with women in the past, but now I just feel like it's
too much on the sex
basically
appeal.
Yeah, it's because it's softcore corn. I'm gonna call it that.
Corn is smart word. That's smart. I think it's that. We don't get in trouble. And you know what? To give a little history lesson for my beautiful girlfriend, I told her a little bit about this. NXT Women's Wrestling was the start of Paige's era, which was the start of the women's the first ever, and possibly like the only ever, all women's pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
No, because they had one. No, because they had one in NWA too.
Oh, NWA as well.
Okay. No, I'm saying in general, I would love to see a women's show.
Yeah, I do think that it's time for another all women's pay-per-view, but it has to be done correctly.
Yeah.
And it has to be actually supported, because you can't say they should do, you know, so like, this ain't a shot at you, but this is like a wrestling fan in general. You can't get online and bitch about, oh, they need to do all women, but you don't watch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I watch for the women.
Exactly.
Like, and you can't say let's do like all women's pay-per-view, but when the stats come back, only 16,000 tuned in. That ain't what you wonder why they don't do it again, because did nobody watch.
Yeah. Well, trust me, I can get into that too. I mean,
Right,
we can talk shit on that. But
like the
no, honestly, I would go further than a pay-per-view. I would say, like, I want to see a segment. There's so many women in wrestling right now. Like, why not give them their own segment?
They're always in the back.
Yeah.
Sitting down, talk to other women.
Like, there's no reason. Like, we need shows like Total Divas again, where it was all about the women.
Okay, I'm not familiar.
It was a lot of sexy people in that show, but it was more like getting to know. It was getting to know the characters.
But actually show the day-to-day grind of what they have to go through just to get to the glitz and glam before they get on TV to entertain us. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see no damn petty shit. Give me what like.
I agree. I want to see that too.
And I learned more about Sonya Deville and Liv Morgan in that show.
Yeah.
More than anything else. I felt bad for Liv Morgan. She's like one of 8 kids.
Well,
bro.
I'm gonna be totally honest. My introduction to wrestling before I even started watching NXT was Glow. So, like, obviously that's a TV show.
Yes. On Netflix. Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, but like there is some, you know, like the people behind that show.
I would like to see more shows like that.
Yeah, like there's a semblance of reality to it, right? Like, and they show the real behind the scenes.
It has to come from the right company, and it has to come from the right people to tell the story. Like, you just can't let anybody tell the story, or else you go get some dark side of the ring type shit that you don't need.
I want to see the nitty gritty, but I will say off the bat though, like there is nothing wrong with sex appeal. What a woman wants to do and how she wants to how she wants to show up. Yeah, how she wants to show up in the ring is like her choice, but I want that to be her choice.
Like, when you over rely on it, that's when it's a problem.
Yeah,
because at some point, like, I'm gonna want to see your skill, like he actually wrestle. Because you don't like Sable was back in the day, sexy, but you can't wrestle worth a damn. But every man will own you, but they don't respect you because what you talking about, you ain't living it. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Like Lita. Yeah. Lita wrestle worth a damn. Can wrestle. Not that pretty, but can wrestle.
I like.
The only thing that she had to do was she had a wheel tail. She had a thong that she would always like hike up and wear like Janko jeans. So that was like the wrestler Janko jeans and have a wheel tail. So you're like, that's
the name I know Lita is like Swan Lita, but
that's what she was like. But then the part I wanted to say that was really sad. The same year that they did the review was the same year that one of them very too. Most of the wrestlers that you saw now were in that tournament.
I do feel like this generation of women currently, they're being respected more for their wrestling than they ever were. Because there was one point in time, women were only getting 5 minutes on TV, 3 minutes on TV, 6 minutes on TV. Now, well, the women in AEW, they getting close to 10 minutes on TV, and then they're getting damn near 20 minutes on pay-per-view to deliver just as good as the man. Like right now, Chris Statler and the rest of Mercedes, it's finna hit 19 minutes in a fire ass match. I ain't heard the crowd shout titties and ass not one time. They just want to see two bad bitches getting it in.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, the sad thing is that you will not see a 19-minute match on AEW only in pay-per-views. Sorry, NXT. NXT. You will only see NXT 19. Yeah, exactly. And 19-minute NXT women's match only on a pay-per-view, and that's if it's the main event.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. Well,
and that right there is a problem because you should be able to let your women show that they can get just as gritty as the men, despite what they are on the card.
Yeah.
Because if you really want to be forward moving as a company, let them get busy outside of that main event spot. Because that shows me that you don't really trust them in any other spot. Unless it's a token here, bitch, get out of my face. You got the main event, be quiet spot. That's what I take that as.
Yep. And that's not going to happen for New Year's Evil. Like, Julia is not going to fight Roxanne for the main event. It's going to be Trick versus Oba versus Eddie Thorne. And that's a shame. Julia deserves at least a 15-minute match.
I mean, Julia's a new, like, she's a Stardom legend. She deserves every bit of her match time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it also, like, I'm not gonna lie, talking about Trick and everything, like, I hate this whole storyline they've done with Eddie Thorpe, and I hate that we keep having to talk shit about him and like how he's playing like just the character that they're having him play, and
playing the race card.
Yeah, and I hate that they're making him fucking do that, and that we have to end up talking about it every week. That's what they're putting attention on, is him playing this like tricked out character. Like, I just don't like it. I know that's bullshit. I don't think he likes it either. But
it's typical WWE when it comes to the race trope storyline playbook. They invented it. And people had a nerve to ask me, Brandon, why don't you watch WWE? What the fuck for?